to my very first video edit, actually color edit. Over the years, a couple of you guys have asked me if I can do a video regarding some of the edits I do, coloring, things like that. So welcome to the very first video. I want to show you kind of how I come about coloring. I don't really see that there's a right or wrong way of doing things. That could be debatable, but I will show you kind of how I come about with coloring. So this right here is a still image. It's a video, but it's a still image from a wedding I shot in Louisiana recently, as of May 2023. And I kind of want to show you where I take my process at, and some of the things that I'm going to show are pretty new as well to myself. So the first thing I want to do is start off with a LUT. Usually I don't add LUTs, but for the sake of this video, this will actually be the first time I add a LUT. I'm going to add 4.6K. The camera I use for this, first I want to use the right LUT that's going to coincide with the camera I use. I use a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K. So let's find that bad boy. I think it's near the end. Boy, film to video, extended video. I'm going to use, film to video. This bad boy. Already, you want to use that just to kind of give you a place where to start at. So what I did recently that I like to do, let me add another LUT, is, and this might be strange to some, but I actually like to completely take my saturation over here all the way down to 0. Completely down to 0. The reason I do this is to eliminate the distractions when it comes to color and focus my eyes only on the black and the white areas to get the proper, at least in my eyes, how my eyes calibrated, the proper exposure or lighting, contrast, things like that, that is going to be attractive or something that's going to be nice enough for the eye to capture. Now I do remind you that for the sake of this video, I am not editing or coloring with a backlight, which would help actually for eyes. So if you're watching it on a monitor, a phone, or anything like that that actually has, like, for example, Instagram has a white background mostly on people's pages as standard, this may look, some of the shadows may look a little darker because your eyes are being calibrated based off of that white light. Anyway, so I like to gray it out and start to mess with the highlights. As you look over here on my parade scope over here, I want to move those highlights, those bad boys, bam, 100%. The reason I do this is because when I look over here at the whites, nothing's overexposed, and they look good enough as of right now. And I like to take the shadows and I like to ease those bad boys down. So I'm not going to do 100, but I am going to tune it just a little bit right there, bad boy. So when I take this saturation back to normal, you can see at least the effect that it makes. It at least focuses our attention more in this area. As we start to get these shadows darker, the highlights lighter, it allows us to kind of balance each other out. So let me add a parallel node. At some point I'll at least talk about what these mean, probably on another video, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you kind of how I move. And I want to desaturate that bad boy again, bam. And now I want to go to my contrast, and this one I like to get a little bit nasty with it. I like to aim to make what I call a fat image, which a fat image in my head has heavy contrast, not too heavy, but heavy enough that it looks presentable and professional. So let me tune that bad boy up. As you can see, them shadows. Oh, let me turn this off right here. Put that at 50. And I'm gonna go back to the first one and take that to 0, just so we can kind of see the before and after when we do this. Look at that. A little bit more darkness in the shadows. Now this is when you kind of got to get aware of areas like this where it can start getting a little too dark. It's still not really dark, but as you can see, we're kind of losing a little bit of detail inside that hair. Let's go to my pivot, and with the pivot you get to kind of mess around between the highlights and the shadows to find an area that is pleasing. Now, this is a wedding video, so we don't want to get too dramatic. Let me see how that looks. This is kind of what I do before I do anything with coloring, anything with tints, any of that kind of manipulation. I want to go and I want to change up the shadows and the highlights to get it to an area where, to me, it feels natural, and really and pretty much attractive. Like, already, I would say, if I was a person, I would have thought that this already was good enough. This is already a good enough shot, but I do like to take it to the next level. So let me go back to this bad boy. Bam, make me another node. What I started to use recently as well is this contrast pop. Where is it on my effects? Kind of like this right here, the detail amount, detail size, just to kind of show you the contrast or the difference between the shadows and the dark. And I don't want to add too much. What happens when you get too much? You get this, very unnatural. If that's your style, then there you go. I just like to get a little bit, let's see. Let me try detail size real quick. I like to make this feel a little bit soft, but just have a little bit of that hardness when it comes to those shadows. And also, as you can see, look in this area of his face, you have a little bit more of those mid-tones, closer, a bit close to those highlights, but they pop out more, they stand out, and that's what I kind of want to see. I want to see that that definition within his face, something that's going to attract us to their faces. Because if you got the shadows and the highlights, this area over here being a little bit more dim can kind of take us away. These shadows and highlights can kind of take us away, but when you add a little bit of contrast pop, it brings us right over here. I like that. Let me see, highlight. See, if you see the highlights, we're messing around over here. This is the high threshold, which is going to start over there in the highlight areas. Let me just leave that over there in softness. To be honest, I don't even know if softness even does anything really to this. Now, if you notice, look at his glasses. This one gets a little dark in the hair. Now I want to go back over here. Wrong one. You gotta kind of pick and choose which one you want to give up. So let's go back over here, take this bad boy to regular, see what we have. Now, there may be a little bit too much contrast on here, contrast pop, so let's take that bad boy back a bit. Yes, that's not so bad after all. Look at that. As you can see, you see the skin tone starting to pop out very nice. Look at that. That is beautiful. I like this smoothness over here. And for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do anything crazy. This is just very simple stuff. I'm going to add a glow to this bad boy. Watch this. Kaboinks. Now with this glow, I also want to soften it, soft light. First, let me take down to 0. With this glow, I want to get the gain. Over here, as you can see this gain over there in the highlight area. The gamma. You just gotta have fun kind of when you do this, experiment a bunch. You want to I like to spread the glow, at least especially in these wedding videos. It's just, if you keep it like that, to me it's too hard. You want to leave emotion when you do things like this. That's the whole point of editing, is to persuade the audience and really mess with the audience's emotions. If I go too low, you see these shadow areas get a little too dark. So just look at the difference before and after. To me, right here, if this was my wedding video, I would at least be satisfied with this. So many more things that you can do, obviously, inside this video. So many more things you can do, but just for the sake of this video and the simplicity, just to make it simple, this right here to me is good enough. So, anyways, thank you for watching that video. Stay tuned, because there will be a lot more videos regarding editing and kind of how I come about it. So, thank you.